Hello, David 4040 here with another ship's roster review. Today I'm going to be taking a look at one of my shard mates, Supreme Chancellor Koullis, and giving him some tips on what he could be doing better so that he doesn't have as hard time getting past uh, other fleets in our group and can get to number one during his payout time since he doesn't have much competition then. So looking at his fleet, he has a decent fleet. He has Executrix and Chimera, which he will pair with the Geos. Really solid team. Geos are excellent to have up. So let's go take a look at your ships more in depth here. So in terms of your Geos, you seem to have them all gear 12. You don't really have any of their reinforcement abilities maxed out, which is good because you're not using them on reinforcements at the moment. And in terms of capital ships with Executrix and Chimera, you pretty much have Chimera maxed out other than mods. I'm sure you're going to get there pretty soon. And you have a little bit left to max out on Tarkin here, which is probably why you're not using him. But I would continue working on Executrix and getting him up because it looks like you pretty much have home one endurance where you need them at the moment. If you're going to be using Geos, you probably want to have better access to your Executrix. So think about putting Zetas on the Executrix because I know not that many people in our fleet have that. I know Tysco does, and I do, maybe one other person does. And that will give you a real advantage for attacking people, especially others that use the Executrix that don't have these Zetas, because I'll give you a couple extra speed on them, which can be really useful. And pretty much will ensure your Executrix is always going first, as long as they don't have some capital ship turn meter manipulation. Also, just work on gearing your Tarkin at least to gear 12 and getting his mods up, and that will help you out a teeny bit in terms of speed and damage on your Executrix. But with capital ships, if you're using Chimera, you're pretty much good, and you're pretty close to good with Tarkin. I would suggest the minimum, just get him up to gear 12. So let's take a look at some suggestions for improving your fleet. And the first thing I'm going to say is Houndstooth. You're probably farming him. If you aren't, you really should be, because I know in our flea arena, most people have the Houndstooth. I personally don't, and I've been having a really hard time getting up. And for both of us being people who use Geos, Houndstooth works really well alongside the Geos and can be really hard to get through. So you really should be gearing up Houndstooth so you can replace either Sunfact or Geospy with him in the starting lineup and bring either one of them in as reinforcements. Which is, if that's what you decide to do, then you need to max out one of their two reinforcement abilities so you can do that. In terms of other reinforcements, what I'm looking at right now that you don't have well up, and I personally think is the best reinforcement in the game, is Phantom 2. And this, I think, gives me a real advantage in attacking, where I normally don't have one because of its ability right here, Covert Strike. What Covert Strike will do for you, Supreme Chancellor, is it will reduce the cooldown of call reinforcement on allied capital ship by 1. Which means on the very next turn, you're going to be able to call in another ship. On top of that, maximum impact right here just deals a massive amount of damage. If you have the ship nearly maxed out, it can do between 80 to 100k in damage at most on a hit. So you really need to 7-star your Sabine and probably gear up these three ships. These three characters, Sabine, Chopper, and Ezra, especially Ezra for that maximum impact ability. And just gearing up Sabine and Chopper like gear 9 at minimum it should be fine. But Ezra definitely needs to be gear 11. I personally use this ship with these characters a little bit under geared. Um, and it worked well for me. So don't be afraid of doing that. It's an excellent ship overall. You just have to max out that covert strike as soon as possible, though, if you're going to use it, because that's really what will make the ship viable. Now, what I'm sure you're probably using as another well, maybe you're not, is TIE Advanced here. TIE Advanced is going to do a massive amount of damage on its basic. You can use it as a temporary dispel on something like Houndstooth when it's really annoying, and Unnerving Presence will just come out, inflict offense down, and put additional damage over time effects on the other side. And it's just really annoying to deal with. And you have a Gear 12 Vader, so you really should be taking advantage of this since you're not using it on your starting lineup and gearing up and working on his reinforcement ability. Another thing that's going to be helpful to have, especially because a lot of the teams on our side have it, is a second tank to call in. Since you don't have Houndstooth up for the moment, that means you're going to be relying on Biggs, which looks like you are because you have his reinforcement ability max. So I would keep with that. Now for your fourth reinforcement, I kind of suggest doing what you think is going to be useful for you. For example, if you notice you're having a super hard time with Houndstooth, look for a ship that's going to be anti-Houndstooth. For example, Wedge's X-Wing is anti-Houndstooth. Imperial TIE Fighter has a little bit of anti-Houndstooth in it. Not too much, but a little bit. TIE Reaper would bring in another dispel for you. If you're having problem and you just need another taunter, Slave 1 is going to be an excellent choice for you, Supreme Chancellor. Let's see. Anything else based on what you initially have? Cassian Ewing, another good dispeller. I just kind of suggest choosing what you think is going to work to your advantage. Like First Order TIE Fighter could be really useful for you if you need a little bit of turn meter advantage. So just kind of use what you think is best. But I really think you need to work on your Phantom too. And that will be the most important and most immediate improvement you can make is just 7-starring Sabine and maxing out Covert Strike. That will be the most immediate thing you can do that I can't think can improve your arena team. The next one would be maxing out the reinforcement ability on TIE Advanced. In that order, Phantom 2, TIE Advanced. And then just probably want to keep Biggs Dark Lighter there, and then choose the fourth reinforcement based on what you need, what you find is best for you. And for future arena thoughts, since you already have Geos, you're pretty much good there. The Bounty Hunter team that's pretty popular right now is Xanadu Blood, Houndstooth, and Ghost, or instead of Ghost, Anakin's ETA. So I would suggest, just for maybe future, so that you can more easily compete with other guys in our shard, that you farm up, work on Ghost, and work on Houndstooth and Xanadu Blood. You already have Cad Bane up to year 11, it looks like. And so you just need to start Bosk and gear up these Phoenix characters more. Overall, the Phoenix is a good faction, so I don't think I'm leading you in the wrong direction there. And Bosk is a fantastic character too. So work on those guys. I think that will do the best to prepare you for future metas in our fleet and provide you with other good teams. IG 2000 could do some work for you as well, but not as much as the other two bounty hunters. I think I could be wrong, but that's just what I suggest for now. If you have any more questions for me or want to work alongside me, you know exactly where to find me. I hope this provided a little bit of insight, just so you know. Um, let me show you my ships real quick and what I use. I personally use the Geos just like you do alongside Executrix. I have a double Zetaed um, Tarkin. I'm missing a little bit of gear and a little bit in terms of mods for him. And then I use as reinforcements Phantom 2, TIE Advanced, Slave 1, and Biggs X-Wing. Those are my reinforcements. I wouldn't necessarily say I definitely don't have the best fleet in the game, but it allows me to climb. And I think you have a fleet right now that allows you to climb, but it's a little difficult for you to climb, just like starting to become more difficult with me to climb again because of Houndstooth uh, being so prominent now in our fleet. Um, but just continue working on where you think you're going to be in the future, and reach out to me if you need to, Supreme Chancellor. But talk to you later, and see you in Discord. Bye.